When will I be good enough to be all I wanna be? When will I be good enough to live my life and be free? When will I dance till the morning lights up my day?
Our connection has come through One Health organisation and Natalie Wareham.
That's right.
And I met her a couple of years ago. Their organisation is all about collaboration.
Absolutely.
Bringing together people in a phenomenal way. Just spoken to Jimmy Wallenburn, CEO of One Health organisation, had a fantastic conversation with him. And their work is really mind-blowing. We talked about the 3 projects that Courage for Peace and is bringing together. The one particularly was the Courage Pods, mobile healing units that go around the world, taking into community what is most needed, asking the community what they need. So we were talking about this and how it may work with Tanzania, and so these mobile Airstream units that are air conditioned, that have areas for a couch, books, education, music, art therapy within them. How does that practically sound to you to take these units into, say, Tanzania?
It sounds fantastic. One of the things that kind of really makes work over there hard is, depending on when you go, but it can be very hot, dusty, it's hard, it's very difficult to keep clean. And so, you know, being conscious about hygiene is difficult. So in pods like that, it would make our ability to work for longer and see more kids much easier.
And so with your work, with chiropractic work in these situations with these children, how have you found, you were talking about a difference we were talking about emotional health and trauma, and from my journey, how my opinion, understanding that is trauma underlies a lot of situations in the world, disease, social situations, breakdown of communities, etc.
Absolutely.
You were saying there is a difference between, say, people presenting here that are doing chiropractic work emotionally and people in Tanzania, and you talked about Neuro Emotional Technique, NET, which is one that I'd heard of but not fully aware. Can you just expand on NET and the difference between, say, here and Tanzania?
So Neuro Emotional Technique was a chiropractic technique founded by Dr. Scott Walker in San Diego, and it was founded over 20 years ago now, and it's really a mind-body technique that helps to change the physiology of our body and our emotions. So it's very effective with helping someone to heal trauma, but also to get the most out of their life as well. The things that present here in Sydney in a reasonably affluent community as opposed to orphans in Tanzania that have had a lot of trauma is quite different. In Sydney, you know, we get a lot of across the board things when it comes to trauma. There can be significant trauma, there can be minor trauma that feels significant because it's all just how it feels in our bodies anyway. But the big difference was that in Tanzania there was no fire emotions that showed up with the kids, which are things like feeling lost and vulnerable and a bit muddled and paranoid and those type of things, which to me was very surprising because I thought these kids in these situations, they must feel vulnerable. But it was much deeper emotions like fear and grief and those type of things which really showed up. So we were talking, you know, maybe that these top physical emotions that with the grief and the fear and things like that were more because they're still in survival mode rather than, you know, trying to pay the next paycheck, or it's more that they're just grateful they've got a roof over their head and they're still in survival mode. They're, you know, a lot of them are very sick and HIV positive, and but they're grateful they've got a roof over their heads rather than on the street.